Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Dubai Sevens. This one is a huge game to start us off in a group match rather than in a playoff. It is South Africa versus France. The French, they're looking strong heading into this tournament. The South Africans, their side is stacked for this game as well. It should be an outstanding one, and we have just seen Fiji get themselves to win by 7 in this group. So whoever wins this game moves that little bit closer to the semi-finals. Looking through at the starting lineup for the South Africans, it is Ryan Oosthuizen, Zane Davids, Impie Visser is there, Donovan Don, Shilton van Wyk, Selvin Davids, and also Ronald Brown. For the French, it is Cedar, Dabo, Andy Timo, Pauline Riva, the captain of this team, Stephen Perez-Martin, also Pascal Gaze, and also Simon Desai in that starting lineup as well. The French, they will be kicking off this game from right to left. Stephen Perez-Martin, he has the ball in hand. He's ready to go. As the 7:20 minutes, it is 14 minutes. 7 minutes a half. As this one now kicks off for the French. Whoever wins this game, they sit very nicely in this pool, which is already absolutely stacked. Knock on from the South Africans to start us off in this contest. It is available for the French to be able to use, so it will just be the advantage at this point in time. No scrum. Now off to the left-hand side, Stephen Perez-Martin goes now to Pauline Riva. Thought about the pass on the outside. Big driving shot from Zane Davids. Now in this matchup, they haven't got the likes of a Christy Grobela in the starting lineup. Instead, he will be making his way off the bench, known as one of the battering rams for the Blitzboks team. Now Andy Timo on the short side. Now just inside of the touchline, could have almost been a penalty for Zane Davids not rolling away, but instead France still keeping this one moving. Le Bleu passed on the outside. Now we did see a lead squandered from the Argentinians in that last game, 12 points to nil. It just shows how crucial little moments are in a game of sevens, and Selvin Davids creating the counter-attack now for his side. Zane Davids tackled about 35 metres out, and that is another knock-on from the Blitzboks too early on in this fixture. Now trying the big step. Going one more on the outside. It seems like Davids is hurt here for the South Africans. That is the last thing that they want, is one of their players who are just an absolute tank to be out injured this early on. Looked like maybe he was dealing with a bit of a cut. We could be wrong there. He got his head stuck under that breakdown. That wouldn't have felt too nice for Davids either, but the ball's still in possession for the French, moving away to the right-hand side. It's great Blitzboks defense by Stephen Perez-Martin. Almost able to cut through now. Riva tackled again, looking for the kick on the outside. That was an interesting tactic from the French. And the ball now back in the hands of South Africa. Impie Visser, offload there. Great step from Donovan Don. Another offload to Ryan Oosthuizen. And that is the danger of the sevens, that you can have attack for 2 minutes straight and then concede straight away after it. It is South Africa who strike first on the board in this matchup. And it is Ryan Oosthuizen. And that is just down to the defence of South Africa. They easily could have ended up letting it slip through the fingertips there, but just continuing to apply that pressure. Donovan Don got it up to Ryan Oosthuizen, and then he was able to run right down the field, score the try. Now, this will not be the easiest kick at the post, but it isn't an impossible one either. 7 minutes and a half, or 7 minutes and a half of 2 minutes, and 7 minutes in the second half. All right, that one has missed away to the side for the South Africans, so that will make the score now 5 points to nil after the 3 minutes have passed in this matchup. But if you're France, that is very frustrating. You have so many attacking opportunities, and then you let it slip because of a weird breakdown where they tried to kick the ball from the turf. Andy Timo knocking it back onto the side of the French, and Ali Dabo. Now Pauline Riva looking to move this one across. Once again, the Blitzboks going to pride themselves on their defence, which last year we saw some of the best defence in the whole competition. Looking for the steal and the breakdown, told to get out of it. Basically, this game going to be tough on all players. It starts race here, definitely with the temperature that they are dealing with in this contest. Now Dabo trying to cut back on the inside. Cross to the right again. Stephen Perez-Martin, they are inside of their own 22. They need a line break soon here, France, or else South Africa, if they can get that steal, can create the chance. There it is on the outside. It's going to be a foot race. It looks like France should be able to win it. Cutting back inwards as well. Ronald Brown giving up on the chase, which does allow the French to run right round and make it an easy kick. What games you doing today, says Mohadeen. So we've got the Bulls versus Lions. We've got the Springboks versus Wales. And we've got Munster versus the Stormers. All right, using up a little bit more time on the clock there. The French just trying to wear down a little bit. But it is Kylian Posteliers, who does manage to score at 28 degrees Celsius and 40% humidity. Yeah, it's brutal out there on the field for these sides. And go to the Blitzboks. We've got this, says Linda. And that humidity must be killing them, says Hano. And that's the thing. This is first game of 3 that these sides have to play today. For South Africa, they still have to face Argentina and Fiji. Same with the French. Like, those games will be brutal if they're played at this pace. But that one has gone over from the French. Going to make the score now 7 points to 5 with just the 2 minutes remaining in this first half. No Sharks. Probably not the Sharks today. What I'll end up doing is I'll probably end up watching that game, but while that game is taking place, I'll be doing all of my scheduling for the next games that are taking place. That's going to be the penalty for playing the man in the year against the French. Must be similar weather where you are, Hamish. No, I think we're only sitting, like, we probably got up to about 25 today, maybe if we're lucky, but nowhere near the humidity that they'll be dealing with. Do people have dipping sauce with biltong? I don't see why not. How many games for South Africa today? So they have got the 3. They'll be going head-to-head with the Fijians. That is in about, what would that be? Probably in about 2.5 hours' time is when they're going to be playing up against, in fact, maybe it's closer to 3.5. And then they've also got their game up against Argentina. So it is going to be a little bit brutal as it's storming in Wales, says Mohadin. I'm not too sure what the weather's doing, but I think they'll have the roof on for the Principality Stadium. Now Selvin Davids goes back across to the left-hand side. South Africa shifting it out to Donovan Don. Tries to sneak around that wide channel. Selvin Davids back across to the right-hand side again. Still 80 seconds remaining in this first half. Oosterhuizen passes it on. It's a bit of a low one, but well handled by Impivis, and a big clean out in the breakdown from Oosterhuizen as well. Penalty goes the way of South Africa. Quick tap taken by Ronald Brown. Zedar having to break back. Oh, looking for a counter ruck there again, but Vesa does extremely well in the breakdown once more. Selvin Davids chipping behind. This one will be going close to the end goal area. Oh, Donovan Toddy still scores it. Tell you what, the first bounce was ugly for Donovan Don, but I think he might have got it the second time, unless he got a little knock on. That may be the only thing that stops this from being a try. Where can I watch this match? It is available if you go onto the World Rugby website. I think he scored this, Donovan Don. Missed it the first time, and then from there, managed to get it the second. I think this is going to be a try to the box. Yep, they can award the try. 10 points to 7 now, with just the 30 seconds remaining in the first half. But Donovan Don, he's done well to keep his composure in this scenario. However, their weather looks grim. It's 50 miles away as the crow flies, says DJ. And I also have some dipping sauce. I personally think that is just nonsense. Here's Hano. Yeah, nicely done. Be able to slam that ball down for Donovan Don. Change the score, please, Hamish. Hopefully it has updated itself. Yes, it has now. 10 points to 7. South Africa with that narrow lead. 20 seconds remaining in this first half. Snyman watching on. Looking casual. The coach, going to happy enough with what he has seen so far in this contest. Ready to kick this one off. Selvin Davids. Let's decide to go up high once again. Just the 1 second remaining. That's a good kickoff. And it's going to be competitive. That one's going to be knocked on by the South Africans though. So the position, that looked a little bit high on Stephen Perez Martin. He's asking for the penalty. They'll go back for the knock on. And that is going to be the end of the half. 10 points to 7 for these two sides. South Africa currently leading. But we did see the danger of the French in that first half. Anything can happen throughout the second 7. But the first thing that they need is to get themselves that early try. As an abomination to dip biltong, says Chris, and Rugby Sevens the only sport where the first half ends before I even finish pouring my drink, seriously, says Katzenell. Yeah, it just absolutely flies by. You know, you can watch 5 games of Sevens and feel like it was about 20 minutes in total. Just the way that it flies by. And hi, I'm from Durban. What is that logo on your top? It is the Rugby League World Cup logo. And this side is actually Tonga. I've got about 4 or 5 hoodies from that Rugby League World Cup. I've got one of the Cook Islands, one of France, one of Scotland, one of Fiji, I think, as well. Has Fiji played with France? Not yet, but Fiji managed to get themselves their first win over Argentina, which is a huge one to have under the belt, as it gives them a little bit more of a lifeline as they move on. But the next game is going to be up against South Africa. Now, that overlaps with the URC. So tell you what, if I can find someone to fill in for me on that URC one for the 15 minutes or so, we might have to do that South Africa-Fiji game. It's going to be an outstanding one in this group stage. And we have got there, do they have shell jackets available? Shell jackets. I don't get the reference, unfortunately. How many games are you doing today? We've got another 3 rugby union games and maybe another match of the sevens as well. I do see that Fiji versus South Africa match is at 1:16 a.m. So that is 15 minutes through the Bulls versus Lions game. So a bit of a tricky one. And we've got there, how many sevens games is it this year? So they've got about, I think it's 8 leagues. A rugby, or 2019 Rugby League World Cup logo. Tonga merch flew off the shelf, said Studs Raised. So this is the 2021 one. But yeah, they had it on clearance a couple years ago, and I got about 7 different things. Let's go. The Blitzboks says LFG, but we are ready to go for the second half. The Blitzboks will be kicking this one off from right to left. I will also mention Christy Hrobala has made his way onto the field. I feel like that is for Zane Davids after the injury. I don't like hoodies. I want a shell jacket for rugby league. I think that, I get your reference now. I think they are available. They were for that World Cup. We won the Sevens last year. At this location, I believe France actually won the Dubai Sevens. But in terms of the general Sevens, it was won, I want to say, by Argentina? Or at least Argentina won the year, but then I think South Africa won the one-off playoff games at the end, maybe. I can't even remember. That's how long ago it was. But now Stephen Perez-Martin ready to throw this one in for the French as we head into the second half with plenty still to play for both of these sides. I'm late, but do it. Blitzboks says Jeremy Jakobsen. Yes, Argentina. Says Haino there. Now going back across to the right-hand side. A little bit stagnant on attack at the moment for the French, just trying to find, that's a huge driving tackle made. But getting onto the ball, it's going to be called as a knock-on against South Africa. David says it goes backwards. And yes, we won whatever the tournament is. How do the All Black Sevens do? They won by 7 up against GB. A huge shot coming in from Zane Davids there. It looks like it is going to be a sub taking place for the French. Seeing actually a few handling errors from both of these sides. A few early nerves, perhaps, in this competition. Good morning, H. And good to hear your voice again. Looking forward to a full day of Rugby Sevens Internationals and URC with you. Says Jan, yeah, we are going to be covering as much of it as possible. We'll be chopping and changing between what has taken place as well. And when it's a Springboks game, they are going to be playing at 4:10 a.m. We've actually got an hour build-up for that match as well, though. We will be giving the Sevens updates as well as what has been happening in the URC. GB UK, basically. Says Highlanders there. Right scrum feed now for Stephen Perez-Martin. Still 6 minutes on the clock. Oh, free kick goes the way of the South Africans. Selvin Davids trying to get some hustle going here for the Blitzboks as they know that this is their massive opportunity to try and break through. Looking for another offload. Doesn't quite work out. Ronald Brown picks it up though. He tries to pierce through the attacking number 7. And when it's the URC is taking place at 1 a.m. New Zealand time, but we are starting 15 minutes prior now. Selvin Davids almost goes through, gives it to Christy Hrobala. Andy Timo chasing him for the corner. That is pretty poor defence from Andy Timo, and the South Africans score themselves another try here. See there, Christy Hrobala able to score it. And GG says the AR underdog pick. And GB, Great Britain, Wales, Scotland, and England. Says Cats and now, but ball on the outside to Christy Hrobala. Didn't really look like Andy Timo was trying to catch him initially, and then tried a little bit harder as Christy Hrobala was getting close to the try line, maybe just trying to force him to drop that ball. In the try-scoring motion is the only thing I can think there, but Timo seemed like he was jogging. Maybe that is just the heat that he is dealing with. Once again, that ball is missed for Ronald Brown. It's been a tough day at the office off the kicking tee of the Blitzboks. That is now 0 from 3. France, they have got their 1 over at this point in time. So that could be the difference maker as we head further through in this matchup. But it's gone high. Nicely taken by Zedar. In fact, it's Jordan Sefo who's made his way onto the field for the French. It's always a dangerous try-scoring option. Pauline Riva looking for the offload. Finds it to Stephen Perez-Martin, and it's another knock-on for the French. They're going off to the right-hand side. Chance towards the corner. Little bit of stepping going on. Now David Brits, that's a counter-ruck from France, so that is a massive moment. And now Chance running forward for Les Bleus. But so far, the South African defence is incredible. They have been able to change this game. Looking for the kick of mine with Shilton Van Wyk. Another knock on, this time from South Africa, but 4 minutes now remaining on the clock. Feel like maybe the slippery hands are also affecting. I can cover it for you if you want. Says, hey, no, I mean, if you can, we could get it going. We can chuck you on that live stream for about 15 minutes on that URC one, and then I'll just pop back in after the Sevens match if you want to. Right, double blow of the whistle here. In fact, triple blow of the whistle from the referee. Looks like he is happy enough to have a little bit of a break here. The pace that these two sides have tried to play at, but we do see another change taking place. Ronald Brown, he will make his way off, and that is going to be for Tristan Lades, who comes on. This is just a stacked Blitzboks side from start to finish in terms of the players that they have got available for this contest. Now ready to put this ball in. France haven't really been able to get out of their own half throughout the second about 3.5 minutes that has passed so far. Ball's going to be fed in. And while heavy discounts on Rugby World Cup 2023 merch, says Katzenell, that is going to be a penalty going the way of France for an offside. And this time kicking it downfield for Pauline Riva. They've decided that this is the time to just get back towards that possession and territory around that halfway line. Looks like another change is about to be made in this contest as well. Rolling subs at this point in time. So have a regard the defending champions. See Sharkman there. And yeah, I think in Dubai, I want to say that France won it last year. Unless I am wrong. Have a quick look. Dubai Sevens. Won by Fiji. 19 points to 5 up against the Spanish. And the final big driving tackle, Sefo, ball kicked downfield from Shilton Fun Fake. Tell you what, in a foot race, you'd normally back him 9 times out of 10. But France doing very well. Getting back now, pressure in the breakdown once more. And once again, France find themselves inside of their 22. This is just a defensive masterclass at the moment from the Blitzboks. The French have nothing in terms of a counter-attacking chance. They just can't find a gap. Stephen Perez-Martin goes back to Jordan Sefo. The only benefit they have is they are wearing down South Africa fatigue-wise, but this has to be pretty fatiguing and frustrating for the French on attack as well. Now ball passed on the outside. Nice step, but again, one-on-one defense is great from South Africa. Quick tap take, and a bit of an awkward one by the French, actually kicking that ball forward, having to regather it. Now moving up towards the halfway line once more. Another big tackle made by David Brits this time. Going left-hand side for South Africa. Chance down the wing. Sells the dummy as if he was going to kick it for our toe. 3 men in the breakdown. Stephen Perez-Martin. 2 minutes on the clock at this point in time. Right-hand side. Chance for France. Finally inside of the opposition 22. Great tackle from Selvin Davids in the one-on-one. And again, this is once again, similar defense to what we saw last year, where they are just brilliant with the tackles. Another one just short of the line, gets back up to his feet and scores it there for France. They may check for double movement, but tell you what, I don't think I've seen a side have to work so hard to score a try in this competition, and possibly even last year as well. France have just thrown absolutely everything they can, and South Africa had an answer for it. Even that tackle made there by Impevesa to be able to stop him from breaking through the line. But now 12 minutes through, and France, they do score themselves the try there. Kicking chance has missed away to the side, which does mean that the draw is still well and truly on the cards here between these two teams with 50 seconds remaining. Awesome defense, awesome try by France. Yeah, it was just awesome all round from these two sides. A lot of frustration, I'm sure. They're on the field, but now kicking this one off. It's knocked on by South Africa again, but it's a penalty because of playing the man in the air. That may be the opportunities that they need. No way, I have to upgrade to watch the replay on Sky Go. WTF, says Xander. But that is now going to be a scrum feed. Oh, okay. See, that's a bit unlucky for France because that contact was actually after he had knocked the ball on the Blitzboks Shilton Fun Fake. It was just their hand on the shoulder to the Blitzboks player game before this one. They did not, but they have got a game just around the corner going up against the Fijians. That is going to be an insane game. We are going to be covering it on the channel now. We will have to get that one scheduled. Huge push from France at the scrum, but they don't get themselves the penalty still. Now Ricardo James Duarte is always dangerous, and he moves up to halfway here. France looking for the steal in the breakdown, looking for the counter ruck, and they may have turned it over. Oh no, they weren't allowed to grab it. Wrong player, wrong place. And South Africa win this game 15 points to 12. Rough call set studs race in there as well. But the South Africans, they hold on. They win this game and they now go on to face the Fijians in the top of the table clash just around the corner. So far we have 4 men's matches that have all been separated by 7 or less. There's plenty of edge of the seat stuff taking place in the world of sevens at the moment. It was a great win for the Blitzboks. They had to dig deep, but it was their defense that won them this game. Do you know how many the Blitzboks have already won in a row? In Dubai, says Wayne. I assume, what are you talking about? As in like how many games in a row in Dubai? Because they're actually on this is now their 1-match winning streak. Because they did lose their 5th and 6th place playoff game to France last year in Dubai. How many games are you covering, says Kevin? So we have got 3 rugby union games that are happening just around the corner. I'm also going to schedule that Fiji versus South Africa game, which is happening in the very near future. How many titles? Titles in general, I'm not actually too sure. But I know that they're one of the more decorated sides in Dubai. Normally get off to a great start here, South Africa, and that is exactly what they've done. Has New Zealand played yet? They have. They were able to get themselves the 7-point victory over the Great British side. And then Australia also winning by 7 points. Fiji winning by 7. And South Africa winning by 3. So all very close games at the moment for the Sevens. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you do enjoy, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. Can you do the Sevens tonight also? We are going to be giving updates on the Sevens all throughout those rugby union matches, but the next Sevens game that I am going to be doing is South Africa versus Fiji. That one taking place at around 1:15 New Zealand time. So we will be covering that one on the channel too. But thank you all very much for watching. And I will see you all in a couple hours time for that next contest between the Bulls and the Lions and also for the Sevens as well.